Hi, I'm Tommy Canning, author of Island of the Jungle Kids. I'm glad you're here. I'm hoping to get your opinion about my story sometime. It, but first, let me tell you what it's about. A young girl named Emily and her brother and sister are forced to live a new life on a deserted tropical island after their shipwreck with wild animals, some of which hate them. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for? Let's get to the book. Just as soon as I can find it. Here it is. A long time ago in the South Pacific Seas, there were three children sailing on a large ship. Their names were Emily, 7 years, Peter, 3 years, and Julie, 11 months. Their parents worked for their king, King Roger. They were looking for new land to start a colony. After 3 days of sailing the tropics, a fierce storm broke out. Even though it was late afternoon, the storm clouds made it seem like evening. The lightning was the only natural light available. The ship's crew was scrambling to keep the ship shipshape. It rocked so much, Emily turned green and got terribly seasick up on deck. Julie, being a tiny baby at the time, was crying. Peter was trying to get up on deck for excitement. Suddenly, there was a loud crash. The ship jerked forward. It had hit something. The captain ordered everyone to abandon ship. Emily was about to get into the lifeboat when she heard Julie still crying in her cabin. Her parents were pulled away by the crew. Emily managed to dodge the arms of two crew hands and ran back to the cabin to grab her sister. On the way back up, she met Peter. By the time they got back up on deck, the lifeboats were gone. She called out to the crew and she saw them rowing away, but the weather drowned out her calls. The ship jerked again. The children fell into the raging ocean. Emily tried her hardest to keep Julie and Peter afloat, but the waves kept pushing her under. Before Emily passed out, she thought she saw three mysterious shapes in the water above them. One was a relatively round shape colored green that approached Julie. The other two were slim and gray. They came to her and Peter. After the storm was over the next morning, two young elephants named Nell and Sheena, and two very smart chimpanzees called Sokway and Akili, who lived on a large and lovely island, were on the beach to see if any of the other animals needed help after the storm. On the beach they found some strange things, including some chests full of bladed weapons, books, and a few small sacks of gold and silver. Tartaruga, the sea turtle, suddenly poked her head above water. "Hello, Tartaruga," said Sheena. "What brings you here this fine morning?" Tartaruga had a concerned look on her face. She pulled herself up on shore with Julie lying on her shell. Kaja and Kajo, the dolphins, were right behind her with Emily and Peter. They were half choked with water. Humans? Gasped Akili. Yes, said Tartaruga. They fell off a ship stuck on some rocks. Their family was nowhere to be seen. Great, said Sheena. Could we send them on their way when they wake up? No, said Sokway. We need to help them. What? Cried Sheena. My friends have gone coconuts. We can't just leave them to die, scolded Nell. Let's hear what King Mephalme and Queen Malkia think, said Tuka, the parrot, who landed on Nell's back. Akili felt them very gently. They are still alive, she said. I hope the king and queen won't get angry, whimpered Sheena. We won't know until we try, urged Sokway. Emily stayed between Mephalme and her brother and sister when they were brought to him. He was a ferocious lion. What should we do with them, my dear? Asked Mephalme. I think they should live with us, said Malkia. But your highness, exclaimed Sheena, they're not even chimps. Sheena, shush, scolded Nell. How do you both know they'll be nice? Asked Tuka. Mephalme's cubs, Kaka and Dada, came out to meet Emily, Peter, and Julie. Peter, who was almost never afraid, went over to play with Kaka and Dada. Julie hid her face in Emily's ragged clothing. Peter, be careful, she said. Julie started to whimper. It's okay, Julie, coaxed Emily gently. We'll be all right. Emily actually had tears in her eyes. She kissed Julie on her forehead. Mephalme's heart softened. These poor children won't last a quarter of a day on our island alone, said Malkia. You're right, Honeybee, said Mephalme. Does that mean they stay? Asked Dada, who thought Peter played with her like a proper lion. Yes, said Mephalme. The animals in the group around Lion Rock made welcoming sounds to Emily, Peter, and Julie. Peter and Julie copied the animals' sounds. A new life had begun for the children. After a few years of jungle life, Emily, Peter, and Julie were settling in nicely for the most part. Sokwe and Akili taught them how to swing on vines and which plants were safe to eat. Nell and Sheena helped them learn animal vocabulary. Their foster siblings, Kaka and Dada, were great for having fun with. They wrestled and played hide and seek. They even learned how to swim from Kaja, Kajo, and Tartaruga. Their food consisted of fruit, nuts, and raw fish fresh from the ocean brought by Kaja and Kajo. Mephalme and Malkia also kept them safe from many threats, such as animals who didn't approve of them on the island. They were also getting very strong and fast for any kids their age, by racing Kaka and Dada through the jungle, swinging with Sokwe and Akili, and swimming in the ocean with Kaja, Kajo, and Tartaruga. Emily even took some stuff out of the seaman's chest, mostly the bladed weapons to protect her brother and sister. In the meantime, a ferocious tiger with a terrible temper named Pashu Shakti had received news from Scav and Enger, the vultures, of the children being adopted by the lions. He was furious. Why would they adopt humans? He growled. Maybe you could teach them a lesson, Your Eminence? Asked Scav nervously. Your strength is almost completely invincible, added Enger. Almost! Roared Pashu Shakti. He was going to kill Emily, Peter, and Julie and eat them.
So, that was really nice. That's the first 7 pages, right?
Right.
So I noticed that you had some unique names for your characters, like Akile and Sokwe. What do they mean? How did you come up with those names?
I don't remember which was which, but Sokwe and Akili mean chimpanzee and intelligent.
Does everybody's character name have another meaning? Or is it in a specific language?
Not quite. Kasha and Kajo are 2 names I made up myself.
Nice. And what does Pashu Shakti stand for? Does that stand for anything?
Pashu Shakti is Hindi for brute strength.
So your characters too, some of them, either you just made up their names and or they're like Pashu Shakti means brute strength in what language?
Hindi.
In Hindi. Wow. And how about Mephalme?
Mephalme and Malkia mean emperor and queen in Swahili.
Wow. So how'd you come up with those names?
I looked them up on the internet.
Nice. Is there anything else you want to say to your audience?
I hope you enjoyed it.